Seattle's autonomous zone called CHOP, which stands for Capitol Hill Organized Protest, was a failure. Last week, police finally cleared it out, but the devastating impacts there will be felt forever by some. Joining me now is Horace Lorenzo Anderson Sr., whose son, 19-year-old Horace Lorenzo Anderson Jr., was shot and killed inside CHOP on June 20th, and Andre Taylor, their family's spokesman. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Horace, we are so sorry for your family's loss, your loss. And Andre, we know you had a brother who was shot and killed by police in 2016. Our condolences to you as well, Andre. Horace, I got to start with you. From one grieving father to another, I lost a 19-year-old son. There's no getting over it. I understand that. Tell us about Lil Renz, as you call him. Tell us about him.
Little Renz, premature, 25 weeks. Strong, you know, you got to think this guy was a little guy when he was born. He was only 1 pound, 8 ounces, 7 ounces. He stayed in the hospital, for about, 5 months. He was born at 5 months period, 25 weeks. Every day I was at that hospital going to see him in that incubator every day. I used to go up there and he'd look at me and the doctor would say, "He can't see it." I said, "Man, he knows me. He's looking at me." I just knew the connection was there. It's just, you can just feel it like this is my son, and he was born. And it was just a blessing, just to have him around me. I've been having custody of him since 2 years old, full custody. He's been with me and my other kids. I got, some other kids. I got my little niece now. I've been having custody of now for like a year. She's with us now. She's 1 year old, so I don't know, I guess he blessed me and to at least be around my kids, be able to tell them I love them and give them a kiss. And man, I had him in football. He played football. He wasn't the best, because he got, he had developmental delays and stuff like that. But he was a fighter. He gonna try, whatever. Dad, I can do it, even though he couldn't do it, But that was my little guy, man. And this CHOP thing, I'm not a politician or whatever's going on, but somebody should have helped him. There was there could have been something. I know it's something that they could have did to try to help him, because, man, he just needed help and I couldn't help him. I was at home, so I couldn't help him. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And I haven't heard nothing. I mean, there's not nobody. It's like every day is a new day. Like this day, it's like I done did this day yesterday, or I don't remember yesterday. It's everything. All my days are mixed up. I don't even know what today is. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday or something, somewhere in there. But the days are getting mixed up. It's getting to where it's like, man, I need something so I can go to sleep at night, to lay down, to I mean, you gotta, I'm a father. You gotta think I'm the father, not the mother.
Yeah.
I've been having my son and God blessed me with him to take care of him. He's been with me.
Yeah.
So that's strong for me, you know what I'm saying, as a black father to have his son,
Yeah. Sure. So Lorenzo, let me ask you this.
That,
Allow me to ask you this, and I agree with you. It doesn't, by the way, I hate to inform you, it's just you wake up every day. I'm 2.5 years out. It's like every day. But let me ask you this. And I hear the story, and I've had Raz Simone on this show, who was the security or one of the leaders of CHOP, and he had a real problem with the access. In other words, there was first responders that wouldn't go in when Lil Renz was shot, but they didn't want cops in there. They didn't want outsiders in there. Who do you hold accountable besides the person who pulled the trigger? But who else?
The police. There should have been police protection. That's what they're supposed to do. There should have been mobile units around there. If that CHOP was the way, when I went up there after my son was killed. Man, they had barbecue grills. They had cement blocks. They had things up there that were, how did it get there? You're looking at, they're selling hot dogs, They took over the whole police precinct. They were sitting in front of the precinct, the police precinct. There still should have been mobile units around there, as if it was, that was like more of a riot now. Took over the police precinct. That's not protesting. That's a riot now. So that's not Black Lives Matter no more. That doesn't have to do with anything now. They should have been shut that down. They should have sent the National Guards there a long time ago.
So,
but even if they didn't, there should have been police presence walking through there at all times. You know.
So Andre, let me ask you, Andre. I'm watching there, and listen. I saw the video of Seattle police trying to get in there. They were unequivocally, they were stopped by CHOP people at the gate, and they couldn't go in. Now, Andre, what about Mayor Jenny Durkan? The mayor is the one who told the police to get out of CHOP, to clear out of town, let the CHOP have their moment, let them protest or do their way. I think she called it the Summer of Love and a block party. Obviously, wasn't that right? Does no one hold her accountable for this? I've said on this show, I think she's got blood on her hands. I believe she has Renzo's blood on her hands. I think she has a 16-year-old's blood on her hands who also died after Lorenzo did, because there's another shooting inside CHOP. But the mayor never told the police to go in and clean that place up. Can I get both of you? Andre, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I think there's a lot of blame to go around in many places. We can place that blame in many places, right? But let me give you the backstory a little bit so we can clarify what everybody is understanding here. First of all, George Floyd was murdered. It was probably the most savage murder on camera, live, that I've ever seen in my life. This sparked this process where there were protests in all 50 states, right? There was a transitional period after that that brought us together, all of us together, right? And I'm not making any excuses for anything. And what I try to do is put myself in people's shoes. This was a situation that our country have never seen before. As far as a protest, as far as black, white, brown, purple, green, whatever, coming together and agreeing that this incident that happened here was wrong. Okay, now let's place that where it is. The other part is, I think that I myself would have had some type of trepidation on just going in there the first week or so and shutting the place down when there wasn't any violence, right? Because you don't want to be the guy or the woman that is known for shutting down communities of color's voices, young people that are trying to engage themselves in a process of change.
Right.
You don't want to be that you don't want to be that person. I wouldn't want to be that person. So you're dealing with a situation that's highly sensitive, that we've never faced before. And I think it was smart on whoever leadership was to be careful. Now, my issue is when the violence started. That's when I involved myself and my organization. The moment the violence started, everything shifted. Whatever CHOP was designed to do at that time, there was a shift.
So can I
happen?
So I may ask,
never get back.
Let me ask
Sure.
Lorenzo. So, God bless you. You lost your son, but after you lost your son, it was time for the police to get in there, and the police needed to hear from that mayor, Mayor Durkan. Isn't this a failure on the mayors and the other mayors across the country who are allowing these things to happen? Forget up until the violence, but certainly after the violence, they gotta stop, right? It's time to take the streets back to law and order. Yes, about a half a minute or so.
Right. Yeah, I believe that. They should have been stopped that way. After him, man, I don't know. I'm not political, so I don't know who to go to or who's is responsible or who was the main person that could have shut it down. I don't know if the police department, I don't know who. But I know that it should have got shut down a long time ago. When they took, I don't know how explain to me how you take over a police department. I went up there and we were trying to, just talk about my son, and they were trying to kick us. They're trying to kick us out of CHOP, saying we can't talk right now. We can't do this. And I'm looking like, you guys are disrespecting me. My son, I'm the father of the 19-year-old that just, they were just so disrespectful. So I'm in my mind, I'm going like, with that so much disrespect, the police don't have control now. I don't understand.
Honestly, guys.
So who do I go to now? Who do I go to now if I can't go to the police?
I don't know, Horace. I don't know, and none of us know, and we're kind of learning as we go, and unfortunately, the fallout are things like your son dying and a 16-year-old dying 9 days after your son died. But I do know one thing: we got to stop with not going into these areas or stop trying not to offend people when people are dying, when children are dying. Last weekend alone in Chicago, around the country, 6 babies under the age of 10, under the age of 11 were killed across America with violence. Guys,
Unacceptable.
I got to leave it there.
That is
Horace Lorenzo Anderson Sr., God bless your son, God bless your family. Andre Taylor, thank you for your time, gentlemen. We'll have you back. We'll have you back to talk about this some more.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys.